RG3 just got fired from ESPN.
Yeah.
ESPN has fired Robert Griffin III. He had 2 years left on his deal.
Over the past 2 years, ESPN has been laying off some of their most well-known and beloved talent. And just a few days ago, we found out that a brand new individual, someone that was considered to be a rising star in this industry, is now on this list. And his firing is leading to a lot of speculation as to why. So before we get to the content, we're giving away copies of Madden 25 to any subscriber that has our notifications on this channel. And now that we got all that out of the way, break! NFL season's finally here, and PrizePicks is hooking us up fat with a brand new deal. New users that make a lineup of $5 get $50 guaranteed. All you have to do is go to the link in the description down below, download PrizePicks, create an account, and use my promo code microphone to get $50 guaranteed when you make a lineup of $5 or more. I give away my picks each and every day on my Instagram account @TheFlightMike, and thank you PrizePicks for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I am currently in Ferrol, Spain, guys, so my apologies for the surroundings. This is me trying to take a vacation, as you can tell. But the story of RG3, at least in regards to his career, is one of unfulfilled potential. And whether you want to point the blame finger at his surroundings or at himself is a decision that you must make. The short summary of RG3's career is him having a remarkable Heisman Trophy winning season for Baylor in 2011, and then being selected with the number 2 overall pick by Washington. When RG3 came into the league in his rookie year, there was a huge question of whether or not a dual threat QB could be successful in the NFL. Yes, we had Michael Vick before that, but RG3 was the first quarterback that literally had designed runs created for him, and coupled with his emergence in the NFL was also the year that the read option made it to the NFL, which resulted in one of the most prolific rookie seasons that we've ever seen by a quarterback. In his first year, he completed 66% of his passes, over 3,200 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and on the ground he had 815 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns, resulting in him winning Rookie of the Year over Andrew Luck. Unfortunately, towards the end of his rookie season, he would injure his ACL and LCL ligaments in his right knee, and the way the Washington Commanders decided to manage this injury was more or less the reason why RG3 turned into a completely different QB. In his sophomore season, as a result of the injuries that he sustained, RG3 was trying to become more of a pocket passing quarterback, which wasn't really his game. As a result of him trying to change his game completely, he only completed 60% of his passes, threw for 16 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and got sacked 38 times. The very next year, RG3 would run into an injury issue, and then he wouldn't play in 2015 at all because Washington determined that Kirk Cousins might be a better QB. He would then attempt a redemption with the Cleveland Browns in 2016, but he would get injured once again before being out of football in 2017 and then being a backup QB from 2018 to 2020. So it's a very unfortunate NFL career for RG3, and this is just a short version of it. But fortunately for RG3, he had a remarkable ability to engage the audience, and he was seen as a huge rising star in the broadcasting space. So in August of 2021, RG3 signed a multi-year contract with ESPN as an analyst for their college football coverage and NFL Live. At the time, he indicated that he would still like to continue playing games, but he would be willing to be a commentator and broadcaster in the meantime. And he delivered some crazy moments for us as fans. Who could forget when he literally picked up his phone in the middle of the Fiesta Bowl because his wife was in labor and then ran off of the broadcast?
Get him up on the ball. I will give the Michigan players credit. They have answered time and time.
Really?
What are we doing? In the middle of the game.
Sorry, guys.
What's he doing?
I gotta go.
To the bathroom? Let's go, baby. Wait a minute. Congratulations, dude. Oh, let's go. RG3.
Let's go into labor. Let's go.
Oh, he's out. I got him. He's out. He hit the pad. Got it. Okay. I wasn't going to steal it. Calm down.
He's gone.
Ball boy
That's
was
it.
panicking.
RG3.
Wait a minute.
He's
Look
officially
at him.
out of the house.
Get him going out of here.
but RG3 demonstrated the remarkable knack of not only being able to stir the pot, but also bringing a certain type of energy that was missing from ESPN's broadcasts. This man had absolutely no filter whatsoever, and there's no better example of this than when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon last year, and RG3 quite literally tried to pitch himself to the New York Jets on TV.
There's a reason that certain guys aren't in the league. It's because they're uninspired. Some of these guys like Carson Wentz, Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, myself, it's not that we can't play the game anymore, it's that we're a big distraction if you bring us in. I had a GM tell me this offseason, hey man, I know you can still play, you look like you can still play, but if we bring you in, it's going to be a distraction for our starting quarterback. So now that your starter and Aaron Rodgers is out, you can potentially go and grab some of those guys.
For the most part, RG3 was very well liked by all the individuals that consumed his content. Yeah, some of the takes that he gave could be a little cringy, could be a little out there, but at the same time, you don't necessarily have to agree with everything he said. The man consistently brought energy and at least a different angle and a different flavor to the world of broadcasting that most of the other ESPN people didn't have. So for the most part, I thought RG3's job was safe. But then ESPN announced that they're letting go of Robert Griffin III and Samantha Ponder, which is actually Christian Ponder's wife. So according to this article, ESPN made a series of stunning personnel decisions on Thursday. Robert Griffin III and Sam Ponder had been let go by the network, The Athletic's Andrew Marchand first reported. RG3 had been demoted from his analyst role on Monday NFL Countdown this season after the network hired retired Eagles center Jason Kelce. And there are two prevailing theories as to why this happened. It could have been that RG3's personality was just way too much for ESPN. I mean, just take a look at this picture he posted onto X of him eating this gigantic croissant with his wife. Bro, the look on his face is absolutely insane as he's filling his mouth with this croissant. I mean, the craziest part about this is how he literally decided to put 6 inches of this croissant in his mouth before biting it. And the man definitely knew what he was doing here. I mean, this is just such great engagement bait. And he doubled down on it with this video afterward.
For the love of God, this picture is going viral right now. Stay with me. This is a giant croissant from Felipe Contassini, Paris. Me and my wife said, you know what? Why not? Let's try it out. Seems like it's gonna be delicious. So we took this picture, thinking nothing of it. We're just having a great time in Paris, and then when in Paris, you must croissant. Or as we captioned it, it's always croissant o'clock in Paris. But then the internet got a hold of it, and boy, oh boy, did they go to work. I guess a man can't enjoy a croissant with his wife and post it on the internet anymore. I will spare you the memes, but you can go find them for yourself. But just know that this croissant was absolutely delicious. Our matching pants even made it even better. I will never shy away from having a good time with my wife with the croissant in hand. Peace.
So on one hand, I could understand ESPN looking at this and saying, okay, this is a bit much, but this is the same network that has the Pat McAfee show running on national TV. So you can't really give that excuse either. This article proposes a completely different theory, saying that RG3's firing had to do more with the fact that he was defending Florida State. ESPN has recently fired analyst Robert Griffin III just days after he publicly defended the Seminoles, who faced criticism for expressing their feelings about being left out of the 2023 college football playoff, according to Andrew Marchand of The Athletic, saying anyone who is throwing shade at or trying to take cheap shots at Florida State for being left out of the college football playoff last year must be out of touch with reality. FSU wasn't a team that was kept out because they lost a game down the stretch. They were a team that were kept out because their starting quarterback fractured his ankle. That's not something to make light of. The players on that team, the coaches, their families, and the fans certainly were crying tears for one of the most beloved players in all of college football in Jordan Travis. Then they scrapped their way to an undefeated regular season with a second and third string QB. That team should be celebrated for what they pulled off down the stretch and not mocked. Hashtag FSU Twitter. Now bear in mind, ESPN's Paul Feinbaum went on air and accused Florida State of having no shot at making the playoff this year, saying that the Noles have cried too many tears after last year's snub and will finish 2024 unranked. The report cites that RG RG3 got laid off for financial reasons, but take a look at this quote as well because it's very peculiar. Robert Griffin III, who as recently as last year had been viewed as a rising star at ESPN, had 2 years remaining on his deal. He was hired 3 years ago after gaining interest from Fox Sports and ESPN. At the time, sources at both networks raved about what they described as one of the best auditions they have ever seen. The report states that his stock had fallen, which makes you wonder if outcries about the unfairness of the college football playoff selection process weighed in on the decision. Griffin was let go with 2 years remaining on his contract, and ESPN does intend to honor his 7-figure salary. But in my opinion, I think RG3 is one of those personalities that really doesn't need ESPN. I mean, the guy understands how social media works. He clearly knows how to engagement bait. He clearly doesn't mind making himself look ridiculous and putting himself out there on social media. And I think he would be far more successful if he just focused on his podcast. I think he's going to be just fine. And this could be potentially the best thing that's ever happened to him. He discussed his firing in a tweet saying, "Thankful for so many people in my time at ESPN that helped me grow because they are some of the best in the business, from the broadcast booth to the studio, and especially the people many of you never see behind the camera. They are the real MVPs and sacrifice so much time with their families just to ensure people like myself in front of the camera even have the opportunity to shine. And there were many awesome experiences and moments that my family and I will never forget from the last 3 years. What people sometimes fail to realize is none of this is possible without you guys, the fans. So thank you to everyone who has supported my family through my playing days and broadcast career so far. We love you guys and will continue to seek and defend the truth while telling athlete stories the right way. Until further notice, go ahead and subscribe." I have the same exact feeling with RG3 as I did when Shannon Sharp was let go by FS1. I think he's going to be just fine, land on his feet, and create a great career for himself on social media. But at the same time, I feel like ESPN lost one of its best broadcasters here, and they shouldn't have let him go. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.